Désormais sur satellite et en RDC. Soyons connectés avec l'excellente musique congolaise. Suivons des moments de joie et d'amour avec les fêtes de mariage et d'anniversaire. Nourrissons notre foi en Dieu avec les services de prière et de culte. Suivons l'histoire du Congo et les documentaires des Congolais. Soyons connectés sur les actualités des filles et des fils du pays partout dans le monde. Découvrons des émissions de qualité, partageons notre savoir. Nous sommes à votre disposition pour vos émissions en direct de notre studio, dans vos églises et même dans vos maisons. Appelez-nous sur notre numéro WhatsApp. Boss Brothers TV, tout le monde en parle.
Now, you can't change your past, but you can determine your destiny by deciding for Christ. But Christ can change your past. Christ said, I am the way. Come to Christ. He will give you a new strength and a new power and a new joy and a new peace and a purpose for living. Either the world and its pleasures and its gods, or it's Christ.
Corey Jr. Davis was just 14, a schoolboy shot in the back of the head next to a playground.
I got a call telling me my son had been shot in a park. That's not normal. That's not how we should be living in this society today. And if things like that is happening, we need to be looking what we can do to change this.
Armed police and passers-by desperately tried to save the schoolboy.
There needs to be a change. And if there isn't, this is what we could be seeing all the time on our TV.
We are back again, part 2 of God Restore program, and we've got another guest that's in with us right now at the Boss Brothers studio. We got Ohemaa.
Hi.
How are you, my love?
Good, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
No,
my girl is flying to Ghana in 2 days, and she managed to still find time to have an interview with me. Literally, God bless you for this.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Definitely. So for people that don't know you, just tell me a little bit about yourself, not too much, I've got questions in it. So a little bit about yourself, so people that don't know you, who you are.
Okay, so I'll just say what I do.
No. If it's stuff about yourself.
Okay,
I've got questions.
Myself.
Yeah, it's very quick.
More about like my character.
Yeah, more about your character in terms of like where you from, you know, like a bit like what do you like do and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I want to know about that first before I go into what you do. Yeah.
So my name is Ohemaa Nimo. I'm pretty young. I'm 19, and I'm currently in university, studying law. I was initially studying politics and international relations. I changed it to law. I would say that I'm a pretty productive person. Like I start things very early. I would say because of like my experiences and the way I was brought up, I just got to learn about life a little bit earlier than many people would assume that you should learn life at. And you know, I'll say all of that has matured me into being the vessel that I am today.
That's it.
So you know, I just keep on going forward.
That's it. You go with my next question. Were you always this active from a young age?
Yeah, so I was, and that was actually a problem for many people around me. So they saw me as too active, so they almost seemed, they made me seem like I was rushing in life. Oh, wow. You could say I probably was when I was younger, but you know, I'd say more, I wouldn't really say it was rushing. Yeah. I'd say more that I was learning and just going through life, learning from different experiences, you know, which kind of made life come at me early. So people took it as rushing, but now they're starting to see the light, which is why I'm grateful to God.
That's it. That's it. So now we're gonna go into. So what do you do?
So what do I do? Yeah. So like I mentioned before, I'm a student. I'm a law student. I'm a youth coach. So like I mentor youths, some who are even older than me, some my age, some younger. Give them advice, you know, lead them by example. So letting others know that you can do this too, because I'm doing it.
That's it.
As well, and I'm just like you. I'm also like a public speaker. No, not like a public. I am a public speaker. So like I do speak at some events. I've just started off kind of in that career. I've done a lot of media in the past. So I've done a lot of presenting for TV stations. Yeah. I've also did a lot of modeling. I also did a lot of modeling growing up. So like maybe like from the age of 15 to 18, early 18, I did like modeling a lot during that period, and
you got the model look, so I'm
Thank
not
you.
surprised.
Thank you. It wasn't something that I considered at all. It just kind of came at me, and I just took it.
Yeah,
and because I wanted to like kind of build my confidence in, performing in big crowds, and that kind of made me confident today. And I was also a former pageant queen.
Okay.
So the first edition winner of Mr. and Miss Teen Ghana UK 2017.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we got royalty here. Oh, right. That's amazing. Yeah, because I was going to ask you about, because obviously what I do before any customers, any other guest comes in, I do a little bit of research, and I looked at your page that you were a pageant queen. How was that experience though, at such a young age, and having so much eyes on you?
Okay, I would say as a black woman, I'd say that it was an eye-opener, because we don't normally come across such pageants like these for young people, especially those of, black ethnicities. So like from Afro-Caribbeans, Africans in general.
Of course.
Normally we see this amongst, Europeans or like Americans and stuff, and for this kind of experience to come at me like that, and not like expecting to win as such, I saw life a bit differently. So I got to learn about another part of life, which added to the knowledge that I already had and to the experiences that I knew about. It kind of just taught me more. And it has helped me in a way that, I can pass on knowledge to people who are younger than me, people my age, all the youths, to be honest, because they don't see it much. So now that they've seen someone that has taken part in that, they can always reach out to that person and ask them how it was, to see and motivate them, and maybe see if they would like to take part in that in future. So
that's it.
Yeah, it was definitely a changing experience, but it was nice.
No, definitely. So tell me a little bit, how did God play a part into your progress, into of you being the person that you are right now?
Oh, I like that question. I think my experiences, so like I said, growing up, a lot of people just thought I was rushing, but it wasn't me rushing. I think that's how God purposely made me. Obviously, we're all here today because of God. So I won't say that everything that happened in my past was by accident,
of course,
but I'll say that it's all part of God's plan. So how God came into my life is my experiences. So what you would expect an adult to maybe experience as an adult, I experienced that early. So I experienced that as like a let's say a teenager, a young teenager, like maybe secondary school, primary school. So like I went through a lot. So I know everybody can come and say that they went through a lot, but obviously my story is different to yours, your story is different to mine. And from what I went through situations that you wouldn't expect young people to go through. So because of that, it matured me early. Not like only did I have to, take care of my brothers at a very, very young age, and have to be the mum and dad in the house at one point in my life from past experiences, but the lifestyle that I had and the kind of experiences I went through invited God into my life, because I knew that He's the only one that I've got, and He knew that and made me know that I can't do it alone. So I have to put my trust in Him, and I have to get to know Him and know that He's the only one that can save me. Especially because He is the one that gave us life. So we can't carry life or tackle life ourselves. The one that gave us life is the one that will continue to help us in life and support us when we fall down and we feel like it's impossible to get out. Just know that God is the one that can get you out.
Definitely. No, I love that phrase so much, literally, and that's exactly what the restoration is a video about, and the restoration plays video about, which is obviously from when you feel like you can't do it by yourself. You feel like life is basically putting you into a corner. That's what the restoration is about. It's about restoring life and restoring people back to their creator, because He's the only person that knows best. So yesterday I had the privilege to go into one of your events. So do you want to tell our audience a little bit about that?
So I'm an aspiring, I'm basically a young entrepreneur at this point, but an aspiring business tycoon. And so, that was my first event for my social enterprise, in which I launched and got registered in December 2018 to January 2019. So not too long ago. You know, I've got a team behind me as well. And what the social enterprise is, because I'm all about youths, everything I do is to be an example to youth, to inspire them, to teach them, to lead them into doing things that will get them out of trouble and just making the best time out of themselves. You know, I wanted to form this enterprise that would train, educate and mentor youths, not just of Ghanaian heritage but of African heritage mainly, from ages 11 to 21 on our 6 principles. Our 6 principles being business, law, politics, entertainment, media and education.
Wait, let's do it again.
Business, law, politics, entertainment, media, education.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our 6 principles. And if you see on our logo, we have 6 symbols on top of the crown. It's like a crown with a kente scarf and 6 symbols on. Each symbol represents those 6 principles.
Oh, wow.
And so, you know, we hold different events, not just here, but in Ghana and in many African countries. We'll soon be doing a European tour, God willing, where we will, you know, have these events that will teach our youth, because there's a lot of things that we want to learn as young people.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of things that we want to learn, but we just don't know how to learn them or where to get the information from, or we're too scared. Our parents are maybe probably discouraging us, or people around us discouraging us, saying that we're too young to learn these things. Hence why we have a lot of youths with lost identities, because they don't start when they want to start. They start when somebody has told them to start. And I think it's about time that the youths, you know, unlock their potentials and go into the things that they want to get into when it's best. When the time that it's best is a young person, because that's the time where you're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to go through bad experiences. You have energy. You're fresh. You're young. Everything. That's the best time to do these things. And so I just only hope to be an example to people, young people, to, you know, start early.
That's it.
Yeah.
What's your enterprise name?
My enterprise name is Ohemaa Futurepreneurs.
Ohemaa Ohemaa Futurepreneurs.
So future and entrepreneurs merged.
Okay, you got that. Okay, Futurepreneurs. Okay, Ohemaa Futurepreneurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, so tell me, as I said, tell me the strength of starting that business first.
So me being the rushy person that everyone considered me to be growing up, I obviously wanted to start early, and this was something that came onto my mind through God. Maybe let's say 3 years ago. So this agenda came into my mind pretty early, and you know, being a 16-year-old, 15 to 16-year-old, to want to do something like that, you know, your parents aren't gonna trust in you because they think you're too young. Just focus on your secondary school, your books. You're gonna have people around you your age that are gonna discourage you, be like, you're too young, how are you gonna do that, because only adults do that, it's just too complicated for you. But they don't know what I've been through and how I've managed to learn and acquire knowledge at such a young age. And so I said to myself, you know, I'm now in uni, I've now hit a stage in my life where, you know, I can kind of settle and get more time for myself, and how things have been changing in my life. I've been able to have more time for myself, to find out who I really am, to know what my vision is, to know where I'm going. And I'd say because of that, I've been able to form Ohemaa Futurepreneurs. And because of my faith, obviously without faith, without praying to God, without trusting in God, none of this can you know, come on board. And because of how I believe in God and how He opens my eyes and how I literally feel His presence wherever I go, you know, it gives me that reassurance that I can do this, because whether it falls, whether it rises, I know God is with me, and He's got a great future ahead of me, you know. So I felt like now was the time, so I just went for it. Sometimes you just have to learn to block out negativity and the enemy and just go for it.
I really want to, I love what you just said, and I really want to just add a point to what you just basically said. From being from an African background, especially we do have that tendency where your parents tell you, oh yeah, you are too young to do this, you are too young to do that. And the conversation that I was having with Ohemaa was even in the Bible, you know, you had people from the age of 8, like King Josiah, the age of 8, that God has allowed him to lead a country. And I feel like, because when you look at a man's eyes, because of society that we live in, it is that, we're not used to seeing people, you know, grow from, let's say, from a very young age. That's why when you get a 19-year-old doing something amazing, people be like, that's a bit too young. But the Bible has basically showed us that people were doing it from young. God was using people from a baby, you know, from the time He uses Christ. God was using people from a very young age. And the great thing is that, as I said, you have to have the grace of God for you to find your purpose early. And that's why I really, really think that happened here with my sister. And that's why I'm really asking for the parents that's actually watching us, as you can see, a 19-year-old that is able to start a business. With yes, a 19-year-old, that means that if your kids do come up with an idea, do not stop them, because you don't know if it's God speaking to them. You don't know if it's God's grace. You do not stop them. I would mostly say encourage them and pray that if it's God's guides them, it will definitely happen. So within that, please tell me of the weakness of starting your business, of what you know that you felt was a struggle.
Okay, so the weaknesses of starting a business, you have to take into consideration that whether you like it or not, you're going to get a lot of negativity. So people just won't believe in the vision because it just seems too out of this world. But little do they know that the bigger the vision, the longer the process. So obviously it's not going to be the way that you want it at the start. Like they say, like amongst the believers, that the longer God takes to bless you, the bigger the blessing. So you may be praying for something and it's huge and you expect God to do it in a minute, and you realize that it doesn't come, you're like, oh God, you didn't answer my prayer. It's not. God is working on that because he wants to craft it into something so perfect, so beautiful and amazing for you, and that's going to take a bit of time. You know, perfect things take time to craft. And the weaknesses that came along, even having that huge faith, is that you're a human at the end of the day, and you need to take into the fact that there's life, and with life and business comes negative factors. You know, obviously there's finances. There's so finances aligns with funding, to fund for, you know, venues, to get sponsors, for people to come and, you know, speak at your events. You know, if you want an international speaker, for example, you have to fly them out and pay for that. I'd also say, you know, keeping your team together, because obviously me being the founder and having a team, you're instructing the team, so you have to always make sure that they're doing their job, that they're, you know, doing the right thing. You have to correct them when they're wrong. If you're wrong, you know, you have to accept the fact that maybe a team member may just correct you and you may think, okay, I'm the boss here. No, but you know, you have to be able to have that understanding and stuff, and be able to have that mutual respect for everyone. It's difficult to come along. Weaknesses, I'd say, you know, they are bound to come. They're bound to be there, because that's business. No business is 100% successful.
That's it.
In comes with the flaws, because obviously without the flaws, how would you know how to improve? If it's just perfect, you won't have nothing to work on. So I don't see the weaknesses or the negativity as something that shouldn't be there. Like, I'm even happy that they're there, because I know that, okay, this is how I need to work next time. This is how I can improve next time. This is how I can better myself this time. So, you know, they'll always be there.
Yeah,
they'll always be
good.
there.
It's good. So you
That's
embrace
the
them,
beauty of it all.
basically.
Yeah,
embrace
them.
the weaknesses. How long has Futurepreneur started? Like the timeline?
So it's been on. So we're now in March. It has been on for 3 months now.
3 months, but obviously before it was registered, right? How long were you working on the vision itself in terms of like building it together?
3 years.
3 years. Oh wow!
Yeah.
So 3 is a lucky number. As we heard, you know, our beautiful dad Coco, took her 3 years for her to be the model. So I guess 3 is the lucky number. Definitely, 3 is the lucky number. So how are you able for, again, I say, doesn't matter, even 3 days or 3 months is still a long time. Yeah. So how do you maintain to stay within business in terms of like 3 years has been, even though you've been registered for 3 months, but prior to that you've been obviously preparation and all of that, right? You know, because it's in terms of being consistent. Yeah. How are you able to maintain that, to still be able to stay in business?
Passion. Like, if you don't have a passion, you will never go for it. You will never sustain. You will never have longevity in your business. I'm doing what I'm doing despite the challenges that have already come and that I will face in future. I have passion, so I know I will stay in it. If you don't have a passion for your vision, there's no way that you will last in that. You'll make one mistake, you'll be like, I give up, I'm going to end it there, I'm going to leave it. Everybody has to start from somewhere. You know, humble beginnings are the best, because, you know, when you started off maybe not so great, it will only be great in future, because, you know, you would have improved from the previous moment, you know. And so I say, I last in it because I have passion. And this is, if I didn't have passion, I wouldn't have stuck to an idea that I had 3 years ago. Some people, they'll get an idea straight away, come through one ear, go out the other, and it's gone. Me, I kept that with me. It's just maybe at the time I didn't have the resources, or I didn't feel it was the right time for me to tackle it. God let me know when it was the right time, and that time is now. And so, and He's seen my passion. If God knows that you want something, He will work on it for you.
That's
you
it.
have to show him that you want it.
That's it.
So don't just pray, but then, sleep the whole day and then expect God to put it on the table for you. No, you have to let God know that, God, this is what I want. God, I'm dying for you. I'm hungry for your word, basically. Let me know who you are. You have to show him. You have to tell him. Once you do that, you have no problem.
That's it.
God has already put it there for you. He just wants to see if you're hungry for that thing.
Amen. Amen to that. So what we're gonna do, because that was a lot. Yeah, that was really, really a lot, and there's more to come. We're gonna go on a little break, and we'll be right back for part 2 because I've still got some questions to ask Ohemaa. See y'all later. Don't go anywhere.
Now, you can't change your past, but you can determine your destiny by deciding for Christ. But Christ can change your past. Christ said, I am the way. Come to Christ. He will give you a new strength and a new power and a new joy and a new peace and a purpose for living. Either the world and its pleasures and its gods, or it's Christ.
Corey Junior Davis was just 14, a schoolboy shot in the back of the head next to a playground.
I got a call telling me my son had been shot in a park. That's not normal. That's not how society. That's not how we should be living in this society today. And if things like that is happening, we need to be looking what we can do to change this.
Armed police and passers-by desperately tried to save the schoolboy.
There needs to be a change. And if there isn't, this is what we could be seeing all the time on our TV.
Good afternoon. Welcome back into our Show of God Restored program. I'm your host, Coco, and I'm here with the beautiful Ghanaian Queen, Ohemaa. Okay, so we're gonna go back. Sorry, the conversation was so good, so I've lost my thoughts. So we're gonna jump back into the conversation that we were having. So, where is future entrepreneur in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years?
Yeah.
I think, you have to have belief in your business and in yourself before you can make such great predictions. And because of the belief I have, I believe that we'll be successful in a way that we would have already achieved what we want to achieve, which is, take the hearts of the youths in a good way, draw them to God through business.
That's it.
I don't even see that happening in 5 years. I see that happening now.
Okay.
Because the way life has changed and the way the world is going at this pace, more technology and things like that.
That's
people are a bit more aware and have more access to things that will teach them and benefit them. Yeah. I feel like even within this year, you just have to have belief, and keep on going at it. And what someone would expect to happen in the 5 years, that could happen to you in the first year, especially when you believe so much in God and you have faith. He will shock you.
Yeah,
he will shock you. So I believe, we'll be somewhere near God, near heaven in this year.
No, but looking at you, you're literally, it gives, obviously, looking at you, it makes me smile. Because it makes me smile to a point that when I look at you, I see hope. I see hope in terms of every single day. As you guys see the promo video that's been shown before we came on live, where a 14-year-old boy got shot by another young boy, and and the way the world is going now, that you have so many youth are just basically they're losing purpose, they don't know what to do with their life. So, and you kind of think to yourself Lord, what is happening to our generation? So when I do see 19-year-olds that coming up here, and then 24-year-old coming up here and telling us what they're doing, it gives up hope to say, okay, that I want to basically inspire a mother or a father that feel like, okay, where's my child going to be? This is why the God Restoration program is for, is to show you where your child can be if you give them to God. If you introduce them to God, give them to God. And the way you can introduce them to God, again, by coming to the Restoration Theatrical production in a city near you. Go back into our question. So what advice can you give to a youth that wants to start something, that has that little, adrenaline feeling that, okay, cool, I want to start something in me? What advice would you give to them?
So the advice I'd give to them is to allow themselves to find out who they are. So you need to learn and find out who you are before you can go into something. Because if you just go into anything without, knowing who you are as a person, you just fall and you think that's the end. Or you will take anything that comes your way. Obviously, in life, you need to just be careful with what you get into. You need to double check something. So if you just take whatever comes at you and you just go in at life without really knowing where you're going, without choosing, understanding this is A and that this is B. You will hit a stage in life where you just feel like giving up. Sorry to say, but you could end up being suicidal because people don't know who they are. They feel like they're in life for no reason and that everybody is against them. It's all because they have a lost identity. So know who you are. Know where you're going. So pick that one thing that you want to achieve in life. Once you know that one thing that you want to achieve in life, you will do anything or do whatever it takes to get there, and you will do only things that would lead you there. You won't go into something that will take you far away from that, but rather something that will draw you close to that. Have a passion. So if you don't have a passion, you're not going to last in anything that you do. You won't love what you're doing. You will just make one mistake and you'll leave it. Make sure you have a passion. Have faith in God, because obviously it's God that keeps us going. Like us sitting here today, us watching the screen, that's all God. Like this is all God. Do you understand? And without God, you won't be able to go anywhere. And you think that you can battle life for yourself. Trust me, you battle life for yourself. You hit life, you fall, and you stay there, and then you come and blame God. No. God did warn you. Be with me, believe in me, trust in me. I'll never leave you nor forsake you. So just have that faith in him, and you'll absolutely blow your mind. What humans think that they can do as humans, God can do the impossible when you have that faith in him. So just believe in him. Also, block out negativity. So don't listen to like these bad friends, bad company, people who will say this and do that. Just let them say whatever, especially your parents. If your parents are discouraging you, let them talk. Parents will be parents. You can't do anything about it. Let them talk. You just have to be quiet. Take that in and be like, you know what? They've said this, but I believe I can do it, and God has let me know I can do that. So let me just go behind the scenes and do that. Prove them wrong with your results. Once you've done that and you've achieved and you've been successful in that, they can't say anything negative about it.
That's true.
They will begin to support you. They were just scared that maybe something would happen to you.
That's it.
But now that they've seen that you've done it, they have nothing negative to say. So just go for it. Just do it. Do you, be you, know who you are, know where you're going, know the vision.
I love that. Go you, be who you are, and you know your vision. You guys heard it, right? So to my final question, the one thing is, especially again, when it comes to the restoration, I want to ask you this question. Again, the thing that, as we know, the timing of God is not our timing, meaning that God can be silenced for a good while, for a good week, for good years. So that gives people a bit of discourage. So in terms of the process now, so that's where I feel like a lot of us believers, even Christian or non-Christian, kind of get discouraged because of the process, So what advice would you give to a young person watching here saying, yes, I've accepted God, I have the vision, why is it taking long? Now I want you to basically help explain to us in terms of how you're able to still be consistent even though you're not seeing results.
Okay, so for somebody like that who thinks that maybe something's taking too long, just trust the process and believe that what you're working towards is bigger than what you think, and so it's going to take much longer.
Absolutely.
You want something huge, so out of this world. That's not going to happen in one day. It's not going to happen in 1 week. Do you understand? There's a saying that Rome wasn't created in a day, and if you know that, then you know that something so beautiful, something so perfect that you want, you need to just be patient and wait. Trust the process. It becomes a problem when you're expecting something to happen by a certain time. Don't give it a time. Just let it flow. When you let it flow and you trust the process, you'll see that you'll get to where you want to get to in a quicker time than you thought. So just trust the process and be patient and believe in God.
That's it. Trust the process. Believe in God. Yeah, you guys heard it here. So thank you so much for coming into this interview, my love. Even though I know that you've got so much things going on. I really appreciate this, and I love that the fact of you took time out, because you know that there is a youth watching, there's a parents watching, there's a father watching, and to just come and just tell them of your story. And these are the type of story that we need to hear every single day, because these are the type of story that inspire us. Because a lot of people will say, okay, cool, I've come to the restoration, what now? You know, I found my passion. What's going on now? God does not work in human timing. He works in his own timing. And he can be silenced for a week or month or whatever time he is. But just know that if you know the person that called you and gave you this vision, this is the results that you can get. The results that you can get. And these are, and the reason why we started the God Restore program, because we want, you know, we want to show, because, you know, talk is cheap, as we say. You know, we want to show all attendees that's gonna come to the restoration play in the city, you know, Milton Keynes, Kingston, you know, London and Ghana as well, to show them that if I do believe in God and I do introduce myself to the Lord and God does work in me, this is the results I can get. The results, and also for parents as well, that you know God and your children does not know God. If you introduce your children to Christ, God, this is what he's able to do, which is transform their life and restore their life and give them purpose. Thank you so much, my love.
No, thank you.
And you're definitely going to see her at one of a London show as well. It'll happen on the 31st of August. If you see Ohemaa, please go up to her. Ask her advice about your youth. Ask her so many questions about business. She is here. We're gonna put all her details into the Restoration Tour Instagram, website, Facebook page, where you can find out more details about what she does and even contact her through email. And yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you for the Boss Brothers for giving us this amazing studio. God bless, and see you guys next month.
Now, you can't change your past, but you can determine your destiny by deciding for Christ. But Christ can change your past. Christ said, I am the way. Come to Christ. He will give you a new strength and a new power and a new joy and a new peace and a purpose for living. Either the world and its pleasures and its gods, or it's Christ.
Corey Jr. Davis was just 14, a schoolboy shot in the back of the head next to a playground.
I got a call telling me my son had been shot in a park. That's not normal. That's not how society, that's not how we should be living in this society today. And if things like that is happening, we need to be looking what we can do to change this.
Armed police and passers-by desperately